Welcome to the Vinyl Verdict, and today I'm going to just briefly be discussing my thoughts on this new Badfinger Live at Cambridge, a 1974 CD that was put out by Renaissance Records. It's also available on vinyl. It's a pretty cool release, so I want to give a little background into this. And I've been fairly involved. I actually wrote the liner notes for this. They're only included on the vinyl copy, not on the CD copy. I think there's a lot of context that really goes into this gig, which was the final known recorded show of the primary lineup of Badfinger ever. So this is on March 31st, 1974, and just 5 days after this, they play their last show ever in the US. Just a couple days after this, in April 1974, they're going to head to Caribou Ranch and start recording Wish You Were Here. So it's a really important time capsule of what they sounded like on that tour. They were doing an all-electric set. The jams were much longer. The concert is circulating, so that's maybe the first thing to get out of the way. This concert has been available online wherever for a long time, but here you can actually get it on CD, on vinyl. It's on Spotify, and I can confirm it does go to the estate of the members of Badfinger, so it's a legitimate release, unlike some of those bootlegs. This is an audience recording. It's a really good audience recording. It's probably among the best, but it's still going to have some of that chatter and kind of that bootleg feel. However, Renaissance Records did some EQing and mixing and things to make it sound a little bit more clear. The vocals come out a bit more. The bass is certainly more prominent. You can hear Tom Evans playing a lot of bass parts that weren't ever as clear on the live recordings. I hear him doing the same riff with Baby Blue and things like that. So that's pretty cool, and there's definitely some compression on it as well. And yeah, the vocals are much cleaner. I think you can really hear Pete doing the falsetto that he does in Timeless, where he's just kind of screaming these falsetto notes. And in Perfection, there are some vocalizations that I never heard before. Those were both really cool, and I think they were obviously there, but just, much more to the fore. So I mentioned they played 2 shows this evening. Most of the songs here are from the second set, with the exception of No Matter What and Only You Know and I Know. Only You Know and I Know wasn't played in the second set for reasons that maybe I won't get into here, but so anyway, it kind of creates a full cohesive concert with the best versions of each of those songs. There's also just an amazing contrast, I would say, between Joey and Pete in their playing, and that's really what elevated it. They brought really the whole sound of the band beyond what either of them could produce alone, and it's their dual solos on things like Only You Know and I Know and Timeless, and something that you can't find from their studio albums. This is something that only emerged in Badfinger's stage performance in their live set. And if you only listen to the Badfinger on Straight Up or Wish You Were Here, you're not going to hear this. You're not going to get the 7-minute version of Blind Owl, the 9-minute version of Only You Know and I Know, 8 minutes of Give It Up, 8 minutes of Suitcase. They jammed on everything, and that was a big part of how they represented these songs live to the audience. One thing I will touch on, though, there have been some quality control issues with this first release. I'm the first to point that out. This cover has nothing to do with 1974, right? These pictures are much earlier. I think that's Top of the Pops 72. There are actual pictures from this show. They're included inside the booklet for some reason, and they're also flipped. It seems like Tom Evans was a left-handed guitarist apparently, and Pete Ham was left-handed, and Joey was left-handed. I never knew that. So I don't know why those were flipped, but there's clearly some reason. Then, of course, the lyrics are printed in here, which I don't know is entirely necessary for a live album, especially for a band like this, where everyone buying this, I'm sure, knows the lyrics to, day after day at this point. It's fair enough. There's some typos in there, too. Hopefully this is kind of the stepping stone, because this was a concert that you could not find legitimately anywhere. Now it is available, and I think in the future a lot of people will probably just be streaming this or buying it online anyway. So it's really just about having the music available, having it cleaned up, having kind of a steward in Renaissance Records to manage this release. And so I think there's a lot more ahead. Let me know what you think of this Live at Cambridge release from Renaissance Records, and what other concerts would you like to see packaged in this way.